Hi guys, Paul here from PABrewNews, ManFlu News. Westy, 8, not 12, but it's an 8. Got it in England when I was in Birmingham, in Brummie, and when I was in Birmingham, we were at either Cottridge or Sturchley's wine when I was with Peter. It's the tip guy right there. Boom. Not Peter. I was with Harry, excuse me, from Blue Nose Beer Reviews. ManFlu has me completely debilitated in the brain. It's crippling. It's killing me. But in solidarity with Peter that suffered through this, I'm still doing this, ManFlu or not. And the other thing is, maybe Peter shouldn't have been doing some beer reviews then. Maybe his palate wasn't where it's supposed to be. Maybe his nose wasn't where it was supposed to be. But he was reviewing some amazing brews, possibly ruining the review, taking that chance. So let's do a Westie. Yeah! I was kind of saving this, but what am I saving it for? I don't know. I got so many other beers I'm saving. That's not true. I only have a few, really. But I am saving a few. Probably not going to be that long. I'm saving one for like 2,000, which I don't know until I find a better beer. But one beer that I've been saving since I got back from England in March is this one, Westie 8. All right, Westvleteren 8 from Vleteren, Westvleteren, something like that, Belgium. This comes in at 8% alcohol by volume because the cap tells you that all the information is on the cap. What this would be as far as vintage, I have absolutely no idea, but I'm probably sure it's not a very new vintage. It's probably aged. What kind of age, I don't know. It cost me 13 quid, so about 20 bucks for this particular bottle, which is a lot of money, but it's something that I definitely will not experience probably again. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I didn't have it yet though, so that's probably one of the reasons why I couldn't put it on the beer list that I just created. But if I already had this beer, this is probably one of those beers that would probably go on that beer list if I enjoy it, because I'm not going to have this one again probably. So why not ruin it with a ManFlu review? What an idea, what a concept. But since it's a special beer, I'm going to take my time with it and see what the ManFlu gives me and what the ManFlu leaves back. So we'll see. And some of my friends, Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, and a few others I know that have had this beer, and I'm sure they're going to chime in on this live thingy, and then they can say if I'm stupid or not. I didn't crack it open yet, as you can see. Again, price tag right there, which is nice because you don't have to tip the bottle over and do a whole bunch of crap to see the price tag. The Trappist Westvleteren 8 comes in at 8% alcohol by volume. And again, from Westvleteren, and it's Westvleteren, Belgium, I believe. And I'll show you. I'm actually going to pop it off, and then I'm going to show you the pound so I don't tip the bottle all over a crazy place. And hopefully, it's only a Belgian. That's a double, I believe. It's not going to explode on me. So, little bubbles forming, nothing too crazy. Here we go, guys. Hopefully the glare is not bad or anything, but there is the cap. There we go. Cappy wappy. Okay, a little bit of bubbles forming in the glass. Gonna use my Chimay. Just gonna pour this in and see what happens. There's a little sedimentation in there. Stir up that sedimentation. Get it all in, screw it. Up to the light, cloudy. The sedimentation doesn't seem to be very I'm sorry about not talking for a second. The sedimentation doesn't seem to be very fishy. It just seems to be very clear, and the kind of sedimentation that I prefer. And it says Trappist beer. That's what it does. I've never actually noticed what it says on the neck, but it says Trappist beer. And of course, generally speaking, Westvleteren is a monastery. They brew beer at the monastery. What they do is and that's kind of supports the monastery. You buy it from there or from the bar across the street, and the money they do get obviously supports the monastery, keeps going, but it also goes to charity too. So it's very the monastic kind of way it's brewed traditionally since it started. The Benedictines monks, the same thing. They just keep it going, and yeah, basically it's not a capitalistic money venture. It just supports the monastery, keeps it running, keeps the beer flowing, and then also goes to charity too. Kind of want to do the same thing with a brewery in my area at some point in time if I can get it going. But and of course, because you can buy it there, you can then take it if you're a capitalistic person. Then take it and then sell it at a bottle shop or whatever for an exorbitant amount of money, as AKA a $20 bottle right here. So that's how the word works, unfortunately. But the initial idea is very good, like that. That's good. And you're getting tradition. You're getting absolute tradition in a glass right here. And that is something special. Just completely murky brown. Caramel notes. ManFlu. Don't expect this to be a short review. I'm going to peter the hell out of this. Alright, it looks beautiful. It kind of rocky head on top too, if you can see here. And then tight bubbles. They're not the smallest bubbles in the world, but they are compact. Very creamy, kind of a creme brulee head on this one for sure, the way it looks on top. Let's get some aromas. A lot of hint of a soft hint of a grape vinous tone, but very, very, very subtle. You get a lot of toffee, caramel, raisins. Yeah, there's a hint of a vinous tone in there, hint of something that reminds me of a clove kind of come through. Yeah, a lot of brown sugar, toffee tones. Seems very, very dark and savory, but it's a double, so it's probably not going to be too overly sweet or anything like that. But just those dark tones. Smells good. It's supposed to be a double, so it smells exactly the way I thought it would be. A little bit of earthiness. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Westie. My very first Westie. Hopefully not my last, but we'll see. I gotta get the Chimay label out, folks, son. Here you go. Cheers. Sizzling carbonation, like all Trappist beers. It'll breathe and it'll die down with the carbonation a little bit. A little bit of a red grape kind of quality going in there. That vinous note that I said about still present. Into that. Drying beer. Copper coin tones coming through. Little minerality. Earthy. Burnt leaf, clove coming through. There were nuances of caramel toffee up front, and then it dries the palate out after that. There is a touch of autumnal leaf quality, dry, a little burnt, a little smoky, but very, very, very nuanced, mixing in with those drying tones, that mineral tone, those copper coin tones. It definitely gets to that charred, burnt caramel instead of that savory, rich caramel. You know, just the charry edges, burnt sugars. just runs right on the bottom of that. Very interesting. A very dry beer. A very dry beer. I prefer mine to be a little bit more on the savory side. Maybe up front, maybe not all the way through, but up front at least get a little bit more savory characteristics. This is a very broody, nuanced beer. It has a lot of dark and rich characters, but not overly savory sweet characters. They're in there. The toffee, the caramel is at front, but it's more on just that dark roasted edge. It's not roasty toasty, don't get me wrong. It gives you these faint nuances of caramel and toffee, but it doesn't give you the sweetness they bring. Brown bread, toasted brown bread. Dare I say a little bit of pumpernickel in there too, or a rye. Just nuances of that. Again, I get a clovey tone, minerality, copper coin, toffee, caramel. The vinous note is still in there. It's not hindering the drinking experience. There's a nuance of a raisin in there still. It's an easy drinking beer. Surprisingly easy drinking. I do like the history, the tradition, the nuance of everything about this beer. I like the idea that this beer is to be brewed to enjoy with dinner, to give to pilgrims as they walk through the abbey if they need help. Here's a beer, here's a beer. Fuck you. I won't give you food. Here's a beer. No, they give it to pilgrims, and the idea of that, like even the Grimbergen, stuff like that. Those beers are they're beers that are meant to slake a thirst, to add to a meal. I would like to actually visit the brewery now, the actual monastery, and see everything, and actually sit down. And I don't know if I'd catch fire when I walk in. I don't know. I might just have a beer on the outside, just admire the architecture. But at the same time, it's an easily romanced beer. I can see why I can see Peter going absolutely apeshit, because there's a tradition behind it. It's not German, Peter. Calm the fuck down. But I can see him going apeshit about this and romancing over it, because he does that with anything, even like Budweiser for some reason. I don't know what the hell his problem is, but he does that kind of stuff. But this is definitely a beer that you take your time with, you appreciate. At $20 a head too, because of, I guess, the capitalistic over-marketing about the people who buy it and then ship it out and ruin it a little bit. But at the same time, you pay that much money for it, enjoy every sip you have of it too. So, but it is an easy drinking beer. There's a spicy pepperiness to it too. Now that the fact that it's breathing, the carbonation is dying down. It's allowing those flavors to lay on your palate longer. Those muted tones, even a hint of a baker's chocolate now, laying on the palate with those clove tones, with those brown sugars, toffee, caramel. They're just laying there. They're not very sweet. They're dark. They're muted. But they're laying on the palate now, letting it work away. That minerality is really nice, actually. I like the copper coin minerality. That soft autumnal leaf quality is nice. Excuse me. I'm glad this beer is not very hedgerow forward, because I really don't like weedy hops. They probably used like Liberty, Noble hops, those kind of things that really they're working really well in this. They're really working well. Certain Hollow Towers. I think they probably even use the same hops that Rochefort uses, because I get the same kind of tones out of that. The only thing I'm not getting, which 12 might have, there is a nuance in this of a soft raisin and a hint of a vinous grape. But the one thing that I would say, I kind of get it. Now that I'm saying I don't get it, it's kind of there, but it's not to the point where I'm going to say about it. The number one flavor that I like to get out of these beers is red apple. Fleshed red apple. This juice like a big red delicious apple. When I get fleshed, the skin and the sweetness and the flesh of a red apple, oh, it's such a great... I don't know how I want to make a beer that has that quality into it, but sometimes when you get a good quad or a good double, it has these fleshed red apple qualities, and if this had this, I would be ape shitting right now. That's how... It's a good beer, but if it had that too, holy Christ, things would be going down. Again, I'm not getting it though. I'm getting more of a soft red grape, a soft raisin, that vinous quality. Excuse me, that was rude. But ManFlu. ManFlu. Damn. ManFlu is doing well for me. It's doing well for me. It's 8% alcohol by volume, but it is not hard to drink at all. This is a very, very nuanced drink, and I think the only thing that 8% is actually bringing to the table is a little bit of that raisin and a little bit of that vinous quality, and that's it. There's no alcohol warming. There's no hindering the drinking ability with the ABV. It's a very, very, very nice brew. The body, I forgot to talk about the body because I've been apeshitting so much. It's a bit thin. Hey, at least it's a bit thin. It's that kind of medium side of a medium body or low side of a medium body in that area. I'd like it richer, but it's not a quad, it's just a double. But it's still a bit thin. But other than that, it's good. I love just that smooth sedimentation. There's no ground pepper. There's no fish food. Everything worked out really, really well with this beer. I'm really enjoying it. Man, it's just, there could be more to this beer. There could be a lot more to this beer. To give it a, absolutely wonderful, hey, Drunken One, what's up, brother? To give it to that level of like one of the top of its style, top beers in the world. It could have more to it. A little bit more sweetness from those caramels and toffees. A little bit more sweetness from those, like showcasing a little sweetness at the front. Even if it blends out, as long as it's there at the beginning, and that red apple, I'd be in heaven right now. You should be ready for a beer. Jesus Christ, it's like 8 a.m. Why are you not drinking yet? And the lacing. Did I mention the lacing? Look at this. I'm pulling a full Peter, by the way, Drunken One. If you haven't noticed, I'm romancing the shit out of this beer. And ManFlu. I never lived in Belgium or was engaged to a Belgian woman, so I can't go full on Peter and romance the shit out of this the whole way. But we're doing the best we can. This is a good breakfast beer. 8% sets you right on point. Now I'm at that swirl it and look at it stage. We're doing a good job here, people. We're doing a good job. I'm so sad I'm almost done with this. It's a good beer. You have to get ready for a little bit of sharpness in the back of the palate with those minerality, with those copper coin tones. They give you a sharpness. It lingers. A little of that autumnal leaf lingers in the palate. Those tones linger the most out of anything. The dryness, those copper coins, those mineralities, those even a little bit of, like I said, that fall leaf. It lingers the most in the palate. So you're not going to get lingering caramel, lingering the brown sugars, lingering toffee, treacle, those things. red apple. Even the vinous qualities and raisins do not linger at all. You're just getting that drying quality, which makes you go for more and more. It's a very drinkable beer. Even though how rare it is, the drinkability is very high. And for 8%, that's also very scary in a great way. Because, hey, why should all beers not be 8% plus? That's how I look at it. It burps amazingly well, too. So there we go. Well, it's going to be fun to rate this beer. I don't know where I'm going to put this. Because I've had better doubles. I have. I've had better doubles. Rochefort 8 is way better than this, for example. Oh, now I'm like, now I'm almost at the end. Now I get viewers. That's funny. Yeah, Rochefort 8, for example. Now we're going to tear it down by showing other things, but I think Rochefort 8 is way better than this. It has that red apple. It has the right sweetness, things like that. This is still an amazing beer, but I've had better. I'm about ready to kill this thing. I just want to... I figured I'd match the vinyl, and this vinyl's going long, so that's good. We are down. I mean, that last note, you hit the little bit of breadiness, obviously, from the sedimentation. I like the fact that little bit of that was left gave me a little bit more of that raisin, that vinous quality that was lingering in the palate now. So it just didn't leave me with the minerality. This beer is very good. It has some things that could be desired. I find that if there was a little bit more sweetness at the upfront, a little bit of that red apple quality kind of playing through the palate, it would be one of the top beers I've ever had as far as doubles go, for sure. They have a interesting kind of essence about these beers. The Westies, you know what I mean? The best beers of the world, that kind of thing. But when you have them, it's all about perception, and it's about personal, the personal taste. But this was an amazing beer. I mean, I'm really glad I got a chance to try this beer. It lacks a little bit of depth as far as the sweetness goes, and to kind of balance things out the whole ride. But the nuances that have there, especially when the carbonation starts dying down, you start getting nice tones laying on your palate. Subtle, nuancy, fruity tones of all those, even baker's chocolate, which you don't get a lot of that from certain beers, but a hint of baker's chocolate laying on the palate with those toffees and caramels and treacles. Just a little hint of that. Very dark, very fruity, not sweet. You get the nuance of that, but you don't get the sweetness from it. It goes right through the palate. You have a lot of minerality, copper coin, fall leaf, playing along, a little bit of clove too. Wow. The body, medium side of a medium body, could be thicker because, it's not frozen, but whatever. So I'm enjoying that. And, man, Westvleteren, 8. I'll show it because, the bottle's the bottle. But here we go. Here's the lid again. This is where all the information is held. Westvleteren, 8. Trappist ale, 8% alcohol by volume. That is a good beer, and I had a really good time to drink it. It was really nice taking this time, just letting it last. It's a crushable beer. You could crush these beers. You could literally destroy these beers one after another until you fall flat on your face. But because the drinkability is so high, it's a very easily approachable beer. But I am glad I took my time with it, and the vinyl's almost over. So this has been Paul from PABrewNews. PA ManFlu News. Let's see. Westvleteren. I'm happy I got a chance to try this. I got this when I was in England. I traveled it all the way back to jolly old PA in March, and I've had it since. And it was an unauspicious time, but I figured I'd open it anyway. So, definitely enjoying this. I'm really glad I had it, and I'm glad it aged, and traveled well. So, now that the vinyl is over, and I'm over, I'm going to give it... I've had, cheers. Hey, Jamie, cheers. I've had better doubles, But this was definitely something I really enjoy trying. I'm not going to say it's the best I've ever had, so I'm going to knock it down a peg. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. For the Westvleteren Trappist 8, they're double at 8% alcohol by volume. I'm going to give it an 8.5. Now, my enjoyment level of trying this beer with you guys was a 10, as far as just enjoying it with you, talking, ManFlu style, the whole deal with Peter and stuff. But overall, I think as a beer, I'm going to rate it about the 8.5 category. 8.5 out of 10. Again, I've had better doubles, but this was definitely a great experience. And I'm glad you guys joined me on this one, for sure. Well, we're almost about the 26-minute point. I had a great time doing it, and the ManFlu didn't get in the way, which is great, so solidarity to Peter. Suffer through it, fight the power, the whole deal, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, Westvleteren Trappist 8 from Westvleteren, Belgium. Ooh. This has been Paul from PABrewNews. Cheers. Sorry for everybody who just showed up. Bye, guys. Watch that finger. Ooh.